There's only one film in
Well,
the list.
yeah, this is the first film we're doing.
Oh
It can
yeah,
either
this
be
is the
one or
first
two.
film. Yeah. What? Oh wait, this is the first film. Sorry, I've already
It can only be
factored in
one
the
or two
second film.
fifty. It can't be anything. It can't be
Yeah.
anything else.
Did you
Yeah.
turn into AI then and just try and predict where this was going to land?
Yeah. I think that's what I was trying to do because I'm
What you
already
think? You're
in the
thinking
next film. I'm on episode
250 weeks
two.
ahead.
I'm on episode two, unfortunately.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of the CineLads Letterboxd 250 podcast. I am one of your hosts, Sharik Raja, aka Big She's, aka Roger Ebert, aka Muslim Commode.
I
And
don't like
joining
that
us
at
here,
all.
you don't like Muslim Commode? I thought Muslim Commode was good. And joining me here, we have my white brother, Kyle.
Oh, I thought that was Simon. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle. I'm white. I'm white and I'm Sharik's brother, I guess.
Hello, everyone. I'm Simon.
Always full of energy. Love it. So, guys, our plan is with this podcast is to work our way through the Letterboxd 250 list, which we have got saved, and it is in the link of this video, so you can click through and follow along with us. Each week, we're going to go through the list, give our thoughts on the film, see where we would rank it in our own 250 list, whether it actually deserves to even be on there, because we're the only opinions that really matter. Before we get into this week's film, I think it's really important, guys, that we go around and give a little bit of background about ourselves, about our film taste, maybe, so people can understand what we like, what we do. So with that in mind, you guys have seen those videos in it where Letterboxd comes up to people and is like, "Hey, what's your favorite four films?" I know you guys know all these videos, right? So we're gonna start with Kyle. Give me your top four Letterboxd four.
You would think with the amount of videos I would have been prepared for this question. We'll start with Spider-Man 2. I feel like that's everyone's like childhood favorite, everyone of my age. Um, One to sound cool, I'd say Social Network. Bit of a film bro choice, but makes you sound cool at dinner parties. Um, Monsters Inc. again, another childhood favorite, and we'll finish with Argo, the Ben Affleck film, because me and Sharek bonded over our love of Ben Affleck.
Listen, he was wicked good in Argo. Let me tell you that. He's
He
the
was the
what? That
bomb
was
in
it.
Phantoms too.
He was the bomb in Phantoms too. Simon, what's your top four?
My current rotation is 2024's Flow, The Desert of the Tartars, Jump In, the Disney classic, and The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Quick question about jumping that I've just been thinking about. Do you not think it was weird that Keke Palmer was so much younger than Corbin Blue in that film, but she was supposed to be his love interest?
Is it bad I've never seen Jumping?
Well, not yes and no, because it is a classic. It's a classic in the Disney Channel original film staple, like the canon of that.
What's bigger, Jumping or Lemonade Mouth?
Jump in for
Was
sure.
it? Is Push It to the Limit from Jumping?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I know that song.
and
That's
not
all
only
I know.
that, jump in. The basic plot of jump in, right, is that he's torn between being a boxing champion because he has the golden gloves. I remember he's wearing the necklace of like the gold, which already proves that he's one of the greatest boxers, or being really good at skipping rope. That's it. That's his whole thing.
That was every Disney Channel film because High School Musical is you're going to be a basketballer or a singer, and then Eddie's $1 million cook-off is whether he wants to play baseball or cook. And I feel like these are all metaphors for something that we won't get into.
Eddie's $1 million cook-off is so underrated. Listen, that might be a my fault. Speaking of which, if I address my fault very, very quickly, if I go four off the top of my head, because like Simon said, it's like current rotation, isn't it? It's like there's so many films that we love and there's so many things we want to put on there. But if I had to go four off the top of my head, I'm gonna go 2020's masterpiece, maybe the greatest film of the decade, Tenet, for sure. Uh, Game changer for what it did, but we'll hear more on that definitely as the podcast goes on. And then Phantom Thread, 2017's Phantom Thread, Paul Thomas Anderson, another classic, another real banger. Let's give a superhero pick because I love superheroes. So we gotta. Carl's already said Spider-Man 2, and that's a classic. But let's go with the Batman. right? Fantastic movie, really, really good. He's Vengeance, you know what I mean? What more I gotta say about that? And then for my last pick, you know what? R.I.P. Rob Reiner. Let's go with When Harry Met Sally. That's a real any day, any time of the week, whether I'm happy, upset, whatever. You throw that on, you just feel good afterward. That's a hug. You know what I mean? But what a banger. So with that
You
being
can
said,
see how different our tastes are as well.
yeah, we're such a diverse cast. I don't think they get that from the fact that one of us is brown, white, and black. But anyway, we're like the multiracial Power
33%
Rangers.
each.
We get one Eastern Asian guy on this. Oh my God, we've cornered the market. Okay, so the first film that we're going to be covering on our list, number 250, is 1960s Macario. So before we get into the film, we're just going to do this thing every week where we're going to spin a wheel, and whoever the wheel lands on has 20 seconds. Do we agree on? Was it 20 seconds we agreed on?
I think
They get
so.
20 seconds to break down the plot of Macario before we give you the real synopsis from Letterboxd and go from there. So I've already pressed spin on the wheel. The wheel's going. The wheel's landed on Simon. Simon, you have 20 seconds on the clock. What is Macario about?
Macario is a story about an impoverished and desperate peasant who is visited by three supernatural spiritual entities such as
10
God,
seconds
Death.
left.
Who was the third one? God, Death, and oh, I
I'm
forgot
not
the
gonna help
third
you actually.
entity.
I was gonna help
Yeah,
you,
the
but
God, Death, and the third one, and
5 seconds left.
That's basically the story.
God. Okay, so in it was about what 17 seconds. In 17 seconds, we got a poor guy is visited by three spirits, one who we can't remember. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna read you the description. I wrote this down as well. So Macario 1960, directed by Roberto Galvadon. This is the tagline on Letterboxd as it stands. I'm gonna read it in the voice as well. Macabre, haunting, and wonderful. I think that's a good. I think that was a good. A good voice there. Poor hungry peasant Macario longs for just one good meal on the Day of the Dead. After his wife cooks a turkey for him, he meets three apparitions: the devil, God, and death. Each ask him to share his turkey, but he refuses all except death. In return, death gives him a bottle of water which will heal any illness. Soon, Macario is more wealthy than the village doctor, which draws the attention of the feared Inquisition. Which is quite actually, now that I read that out loud, having seen the film, I do think that's quite a it's quite a detailed synopsis for like a big chunk of the film, really, though.
I feel like I've watched the wrong film here. Did
What
we
film do
all
you feel
watch
like
the
you watched?
Pixar film?
Coco.
No, I'm joking. I'd like to think I've watched the right film.
What I think is weird is they don't mention Benicio del Toro at all. I get maybe Emily Blunt wasn't as important to the film, but surely not. That's a Sicario joke, guys. That's a Sicario joke.
It's a thinker.
Okay, it's a it's a grower, not a shower. So, so guys, I want to get your thoughts on your film. So let's just jump straight in. What do we like about the film? So Kyle, let's start with you.
So I believe it sounds weird because I actually overall did like the film, but the first thing that comes to my mind are the negative. So I will start with the positive. So the performances I all thought were very solid. The lead actor he just had like I know the term aura is overused now, but he reminded me of like a bit of like Harrison Ford, surprisingly. He just had this very like stoic face that where he didn't do much with it, but like I just couldn't take my eyes off him. Um I also liked the themes it covered. It made me think about I've always thought about one day when you become a parent where your life is no longer yours. Like your job almost is to serve once you become a parent. And I like how at the start he was like, no, I know this is selfish, but he just wanted to do one thing for himself. But you just don't ever see that really covered in films. Simon, did you watch If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You? That's
yeah.
about parenthood. Does that cover similar themes? From what the trailer I saw, it was looking at how like daunting parenthood could be.
Pretty much, yeah. You can make that connection.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, like I said, it was just it covered a subject I hadn't seen before, and I thought clearly it's of its time. It was made in what 19? It would have been made pre 1960s. I thought it was made relatively well. Obviously, some of the transitions are very old fashioned, but it held up, I thought. Simon, what did you think of the film?
Interesting story about faith and desperation, but ultimately, it didn't move me as much as I hoped. Especially given that I liked one of my favorite films of all time is from the same cinematographer of this film, Louis Brunel, which is called The Exterminating Angel. But ultimately, it didn't move me as much as I hoped.
So this was the positive, Simon, but okay. I think, but I guess it was positive that you did not like the film, but that's okay. I saw this film in 480p, and I think it adds to the overall vibe of the film. I think if this was in like, they do the AI upscales of like older films now. I do not think I would have enjoyed it as much. I think it kind of adds to the. I think the music was really good. I did some research in the film afterwards. It was Mexico's first ever submission to the Academy Awards to be accepted. I thought it's incredibly watchable. I know it's a weird sort of thing that we say about films sometimes, but some films are harder watches than others. Some that you kind of like feel like a chore. This never felt like a chore. The time went sort of very quickly. I just pressed play. I watched it. Next thing I knew, it was done, and I really enjoyed it. I agree. The performances are great. It's funny you said Harrison Ford because I thought Loki Macario was a bit on the spectrum. So I don't know if that was just my vibe or just like I don't want to say a language barrier thing. No one's trying to get cancelled episode one. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Mexicans. But like, surprisingly, my love of the Pixar classic Coco really did help here. Because like I think if you had gone into this blind, if you don't know about the Alfredo and like putting, the food out for people, for your loved ones on the Day of the Dead and all this Dia de la Muerte and doing all the stuff that you have to do, I don't think I would have understood it as much. Like genuinely, a lot of stuff I was just like, oh, like in Coco, oh, like I was watching it, I was like, oh, like in Coco, like in Coco. But that I think says more about me as like just what I know of a culture that isn't mine and stuff like that. I will I will say, and we will lead into the negatives with this one, but like I loved the characters. Like I thought the characters were really good. But I gotta say something, yeah, he's got too many kids. If you're that poor and you're living in like this kid, just stop, brother. Pull out. Do you know what I mean? Do anything else. You've got too many kids to justify. And the kids, yeah, I'm gonna steal the catchphrase from that guy on TikTok. But how greedy, how gluttonous, bro. Oh, I want this. I want this. I want. Listen, in my day, you go to your parents, you be like, I want this. I want. This. You get. You can want a slap to the face, bro. You know what I mean? And then even then, when he was like, I want to eat this whole turkey, this brother palmed a turkey. He was just holding it like it was a basketball. It was ridiculous. Like, who's doing that, bro? The greed and gluttony was off the charts. I want to say one last positive before we go into the negatives. And I want to hear what you guys say about the negatives, Kyle, because I know you got something underneath. But I really like the way they portrayed God, devil, and death as well as like these. The film doesn't explicitly tell you that that's God, devil, and death, but you know what I mean. You can tell from the things they're offering and the way they're being. And I really do like the way that the story ended and the way it all came together. I enjoyed the ending of like he never even finished that turkey. Do you know what I mean? I thought that was quite a. I don't know if the metaphor worked as well as the film was kind of hoping it did, but as a film, I enjoyed it. So, Kyle, what did you not like about the film?
Well, you just brought up the ending there. I thought it sort of took away from the emotional aspect of it. It's like I've never been a fan of "It Was All a Dream." I used to read Word Up magazine endings, um, but I thought like obviously the film. Once again, it was a weird one because I almost couldn't tell what it was trying to say. It was like trying to say a lot without saying very much at all. Like obviously, what they call it's like a fable. But the lesson that I took from it was like that you're never gonna win, no matter how much you try. Um, and obviously he wanted to do this thing by himself, and then you find out he never even got to eat the turkey. And I just thought, then what was the point of the film almost? And to that extent as well, anything pre him going to the woods, so do you know, like all the setup with his family and the kids. Like basically the first act I thought was quite poor, to be fair. You said it like it flew by. I thought the first half an hour dragged. Everything after that I really enjoyed besides the ending. But I think due to like a poor first act and the ending, it's not something I'd ever revisit or I probably won't think about much again.
I I want to hear what you got to say as well, Simon, about negatives, but I just want to quickly just jump in on something you said there, where you were talking about it was your point just before your last one, where you were talking about you feel like the ending of like you don't really understand what the metaphor and the moral thing was like what you took away from it, like of just losing all the time. I didn't really see it that way. I saw it as that Macario got a little bit too big for his boots in the way of like it was his arrogance that kind of led to this. You see at the beginning when he's just doing it, and he kind of stays on a level and he's doing it for the quote unquote right reasons. Because if you deep it, he was kind of on his like grim adventures of Billy and Mandy shit. You know what I mean? He's just hanging out with death. He's just having like these little like he's all very like goofy or funny, but, like like the guy in the death shows of death like you know what I mean? It's all just like kind of funny and stuff, and it's cool. And then suddenly it gets very serious because one, that doctor was a snitch. You know what I mean? The doctor couldn't take it, which is fair enough. But like Macario just didn't. He got too big too quick. You know what I mean? And it was his greed that kind of led him there. An interesting thing that I just want to tell you guys as well is so this is based on a novel, but the ending of the novel is different than what the film is. In the ending of the novel, Death helps him one last time to escape out of that jail and escape with his family. So like him and his family get away in the novel. So they changed it for a reason.
But well, not that I don't agree. You're saying like he got too big for his boots. Like I thought that like it got to a point where I thought, oh, the moral is going to be that he's doing it for the wrong reasons. And even though he did take a bit of money, like there was the moment where they specifically go out their way to say he tries to say I'll have 100 million units or whatever it was, and then he's about to pay me. It's like no, ten's enough. I just want your gratitude or something like that. So they went out of their way to say he's not doing it for the wrong reasons. The
But
only time,
that's how he starts though. That's how he starts. How it goes on, he wants the big crib and put my stuff in the house. You know what I mean? That because apparently it takes place over a couple of. I don't think the film is quite clear at making this seem like it's over a couple of
I
years. I have
think
to do some
that's the
research,
issue. I
but
think that's
yeah,
the issue.
the film kind of makes it seem like he was one guy in his little big house. But when I did some research, it's supposed to be over a couple of years that he's doing this, and that's how he gets big. But that's a film issue more than anything else. The film doesn't explain that to you. Simon, you have a lot of reasons for why you don't like this film. What are they?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Unfortunately, nothing novel to add onto why I didn't like it. I don't know. It's just one of those films. It just didn't click. Outside the two leads, the other characters and performances weren't even really that interesting. And that's ultimately it, to be honest.
Did you guys have you guys ever seen that the Remember the Time video for the Michael Jackson song, where he's like dancing around and stuff, and he's like for the emperor and like the Egyptian pharaoh? Have you guys
Yeah.
seen that video? Death
Hmm.
kind of reminded me of Michael Jackson in that video. I don't know why. I just find him playful as that. Like how he just like shows up and just does like weird like little things. He just kind of reminded me of him. He was just one of the bros. You know what I mean? Like he
I
really was just
also I also was now you've mentioned it, I don't think they milked it for enough drama. Like, when he would like go to the edge of the bed and then would like no, sorry, he'd start at the head of the bed and then he would turn and then walk to the edge of the bed.
yeah.
They only did that They did that once, but they did it like in the least dramatic way. He started at the head and then went to the other side. There
Mm.
should have been a moment where he was at the foot of the bed and then went up to the head, and it should have been like this heartbreaking moment. But like I said, it's of its time. You can't really like
Eh,
criticize it over too
You,
much.
as a genre, so what would you guys think? If I had to ask you guys, what would you say the genre of the film is? Simon,
Black comedy.
Kyle?
Um, Drama.
So they put it as a drama, but I agree with Simon. I thought the film was hilarious. I didn't feel the dramatic stakes at any point. That's why the ending didn't quite work for me because I did think he would get away with it. I thought it was gonna be a bit Christmas caroly, like he's gonna wake up and be like, "Oh my God, I gotta share the turkey with my family." But this brother was like, no turkey for him. You know what I mean? Like he was like a Muslim on Christmas Day. No turkey for this brother. He's just straight back to work, bro. I will say as my last point before we get onto the ratings, I think it's a really interesting way to tell a supernatural story as well. I will say that like I haven't seen a supernatural story told in this way before, and it was something that it was different for me, and I enjoyed that aspect of it as someone who's seen lots of more sort of modern aspects of like, oh, and your grandma's the devil, you know what I mean? Like all these different things. This was very like clear in what it was. Kyle, what's your final thoughts on the film?
My final thoughts was I enjoyed watching it for the most part. I didn't like feel like I was having my time wasted. It's clearly like a respectable film. It's of its time, and it's clearly like I bet in Mexico, I bet this is like they're like you've got to watch this, like to understand like their history and their like yeah their history, like their legacy. Like I bet that's a very important film in their culture. For me, it was just a film I'm never going to think about again. But I'm glad I watched it. It's something a bit different, which is the
Kyle, do you
point of this
think
podcast.
Kyle, do you think the stuff in that film really happened?
No, obviously, but they're like they're law almost.
Okay, sure. All right, Simon, can we get your final thoughts and then go into the ratings, please?
Went in with with relatively high expectations. Unfortunately, they weren't met. Probably wouldn't watch this again, despite how revered it is in international cinema canon. However, the point you made about you haven't watched films of this similar story, this film would be a nice pairing with Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal, which is pretty much one of the three entities that out in this film. So I won't spoil which one, but one of them from the three of here are in that film, and that's what the story is, based in Sweden. But yeah, unfortunately, disappointed.
Uh, just a quick question about that film you recommended. Does Tony Stark show up in that one, or is it not connected to the major MCU?
No, I think it's a Disney Plus exclusive.
Oh, okay. So maybe She-Hulk, maybe she might show up in the back
Maybe,
end.
yeah,
All
maybe,
right,
yeah,
cool. Just want to make sure.
Sharif, what
So,
did you think of the film?
yeah.
what do I think of the film? I, you know what, Simon, run the ratings. I'll give my finals. I need to percolate. Run the ratings,
All
Simon.
right then. All right then. Now it's time to put this into our own top 50 list. So I'll go first, since I'm so disappointed. I'll give this a. I want to be really nice because Arsenal's playing today and I'm in good spirits. But 2.5, unfortunately. 2.5 for me.
Wait,
Kyle.
Now, I was complimenting the film, but now it doesn't sound like I'm going much higher than you. I can't give this higher than a three. Like for the reasons I said, I'm not going to rewatch it. I'm not going to think about it. But what's is it like? I was just entertained.
Yeah, good film. That's it.
Yeah.
Sharif.
Sharif?
okay. So having heard everyone's opinions, right? Because you are two people whose opinions I value, especially in the arena that is watching films. I I I'm gonna stick true to my heart because I believe myself to be the one right opinion on this podcast, and I believe myself to be the only opinion that truly matters. Um, the tribal film critic, if you will, but I don't know. We'll workshop it. We'll workshop. We got episodes to do. So I'm gonna go with four. I stand. Okay. I'm kind of between 3.5 and 4 now because no, you know what? I gotta stay true to myself. I gotta stay true to myself. I'll give it a 4. Realistically, it's probably a 3.75, but I can't give it that because we're following the Letterboxd law of half stars and stars. Realistically, this would be probably the strongest 3.75 I've ever given. I'm gonna go with 4, quite a weak 4, and I feel like I'm allowed to say that and add that in. It's a weak 4, but I can't in good conscience give it a 3.5 because I haven't seen Ingrid Bergman's Ingrid Bearman's. I haven't seen Ingrid Bearman's the Seventh Seal. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, this was the first entry into something that I really
Novel.
enjoyed. Well, it wasn't a novel; it was an adaptation of a novel. It's a film,
No,
but
something
yeah,
novel.
yeah,
Don't
yeah, I
try
know,
it.
I know, I know,
Don't
I know,
try it.
I know. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Nice, nice.
You're going to
Fair
do the
enough
maths
then.
on that, Simon?
Nope. No, at least not right now. I'll put it in the edit.
So where does that fall into our rankings then?
This will probably fall. I guess I have to do the maths now then, innit? Mm.
There's only one film in
Well,
the list.
yeah, this is the first film we're doing.
Oh
You can
yeah,
either
this is
do
the
one or
first
two.
film. Yeah. What? Oh wait, this is the first film. Sorry, I've already
It can only be
factored in
one
the
or two
second film.
fifty. It can't be anything. It can't be
Yeah.
anything else.
Did you
Yes.
turn into AI then and just try and predict where this was going to land?
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to do. Because I'm
What do you
already
think? You're
in the
thinking
next film. I'm on
250
episode
weeks
two.
ahead.
I'm on episode two, unfortunately. Sorry. Yeah, this is yeah at the bottom now, 250
By default.
by default. Yeah.
So for our final segment, we're going to have another 250 lists, but each week one of us is going to nominate a random film. It might just be one of our all-time favorites, something new we watched that week, or just something we want to recommend. Trust me, this bit's going to get weird. There's going to be some films you've never heard of. There's going to be like obvious picks, but we're going to try not to nominate any films that are in the official 250 list. So for our first episode, Sharik, do you want to nominate a film?
I will gladly take the honor for episode one. I think the first film I'm going to nominate, and it will be similar to Macario in the sense it's our first film, so it has to be number one by default. But I'm going to take it as a pure honor to win. I'm going to nominate 2015's Creed. I think Creed is possibly the best film ever made. I genuinely believe this. Is times where I watched that film. I came back. Well, first time I watched that film, I came back from Abu Dhabi and I was fat as hell. Right, all I did was eat halal food all day, every day. That living life. I came back. I was so fat. I watched Creed. Wallahi, I started running up the road every day. I still to this day, I listen to the soundtrack sometimes. Yeah, if I need motivation in my life, I'll watch that clip where he's like, where he's on the ropes and he goes, I'm gonna fight through this kid and you're gonna fight through it too. He goes, I love you, kid. You're a Creed. Tears already
Is he
forming in my
Irish?
eyes. No, that's Rocky. Come on, bro. That's how Rocky says. This I see where he goes, I gotta prove I'm not a mistake. And you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Pretty Ricky Conlon bangs him out. It doesn't actually bang him out, he gets banged out, but he gets his lick back. I think all the Creed films are great, but I think it's not only a masterpiece of a film from a technical standpoint, the boxing looks good, the emotional through line, the story, but I think it's the best Rocky film. I know a lot of people like to complain and be like Rocky 1, Rocky 2, and they're great films. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on Stallone at all. I think this is his best performance as Rocky Stallone's. I think this is realistically Michael B. Jordan. If the Academy wasn't wrong all the time, they would have at least nominated him for Best Actor that year, right? Because he is so good in that film. Like everything about that film is perfect. Even the intimate, the intimacy between him and Bianca, like the romance of it, all of it works for me. I could go an hour about how much I love Creed. It's a travesty. It's not in the 250 list already. Hence why I want to make sure it's an as. I'm putting Creed number one with a bullet. You know what I mean? Go on.
Simon, where do you fall on Creed?
In our 250 list,
No, just in
or
general,
just
what are your
general?
opinions on the film?
Yeah, I don't really remember it as much as the last one, of course, because I did a rewatch before the third one came out, and I loved it back then. Loved the second as well, but I think number three is my favorite out of the two. Out of the three, sorry.
Oh, but that's because you
So
love
yeah.
Jonathan Majors as well. You what was the thing that you kept saying to me? Saying okay, so he hit her, whatever method acting. So that's what you said to me, right? At the time, no?
No,
No, you said your three favorite actors were Johnny Depp, Jonathan Majors, and Justin Baldoni. You said that to me. I've got the text. I could bring them up, but no?
yeah, no, moving on.
Um, I've only seen Creed 1 once and I enjoyed it, but this would have been back in 2015, where I wasn't into films as I was now. It was just something I watched because it was on. Um, Creed 2, I actually remember more, because that's when I was like just discovered Letterboxd. I got a Cineworld Unlimited card. I was watching everything and digesting everything. Creed 3. Let's not talk about Creed 3. But Creed 1, solid film. I have no issues with it being the first pick in the official CineLads top 250 lists.
Some would
Sherrick,
some would say the correct 250 list. The only
it'll
250
be
list that matters.
it'll be cool to compare the official list and our list at the end and just see how wildly different and better ours is.
I can. Well, we're already better than Macario because Creed could kick Macario's ass in the fight any day of the week. That brother eats his turkey. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this first episode. Listen, we're looking forward to doing many more of these, working our way through the list with you, and just improving on with time. You know what I mean? We're here for the fans. That's the most important thing. We're here for the fans. Speaking of fans, Ben Affleck, we know you're watching. Have your people reach out to our people. We'll get you in for whatever episode you want. We're not choosy. We know you are though. So we'll get it sorted out. Next week, guys, we are going to be doing film 249, which is 2020's Quo Vadis Ada. Simon, was that correct?
No, quo vadis.
That's what I said. Quo vadis. English is not my first language. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Bye.